Finnegans Wake, Book 1, Chapter 1, Part 2, by James Joyce. Hit, hit, hit. This is the same white horse of the Willingdon, Copenhelp, waggling his telescope with the half of Lipluyums, to insult on the Hindu sea-boy. Haney, 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 bulls rag foul, this is the sea-boy. Madrashataras, up jump and pump him, cry to the Willingdon, up, Bukaru, Bukayurap, this is the Willingdon, born stable gentleman. Tinders his max botch. To the Cursigan Shimarshin, ba succor you stead, this is the do for him, sea-boy, blow the whole of the half of the hat of Liploliums, off of the top of the tail on the back of his big white horse. Tip, bullseye, game. How Copenhagen ended, this way, the music room. Mind your boots, gone out. Phew, what a warm time we were in there, but how kelling is here the Arabouts. We know where she lives, but you must not tell anyone, for the lamp of Jiggalanthan. It's a candle little house of a month and one windies. Down a down, high down a down, and numbered quaintly mine, and such reasonable weather too. The wagrants winds a waltz around the Piltdowns, and on every blasted nolly rock, if you can spot 50, I spy 4 more. There's that gnarly bird, he gathering, a run a little, do a little, pre a little, pour a little, wipe a little, kicks a little, several a little, eat a little, wine a little, ken a little, helf a little, pelf a little, gnarly bird. A very, very table land of bleak barfields, under his 7 Rothschilds lies one, Lumproar, his glove beside him. Scoot on torsts, our pigeons pair are flown for North Cliffs. The 3 of crows have flatted suddenly, cracking of the balco, to the kibartas of that sky, whence Tribus answered, well, 'tis well, she never comes out when thun's on shower, or when thun's flash with his nixie girls, or when thun's blowing tomb cracks down the gales of thun. No, Nubo, no, leblas on you live, her would be too muchy afreet. Of burly meleg, and bind-milling rolling eyes, and all the deed and the woe. Fee, fo, fum, she just does hopes till buys will be buys. Here, and it goes on to appear now she comes, a peaceful, a paradise bird, a perry pot mother, a pringle pick in the Ilandi skippy, with peewee and powwows in baggy on her bicky backy, and a flick flask fleck flinging in its pixie lighting packs. Who merambos, picking here, pecking there, pussy, pussy, blunder pussy, but it's the Armitide, too nigh. Milito pucos, and to morn we wish for a muddy kissmans to the minutia workers, and there's to be a gorge up's truce, for happiness child her everywhere. Come, Nibo me, and Susu sing the day we celebrate. She borrowed the coacher's headlight, the better to pry. Who goes cute goes, Sayakor, and shoes around, and all spoiled goods go into her knapsack. Cotterages and rattling buttons, nappy spatties and flasks of all nations, clavicures and scapulars, maps, keys, and wood piles of haypennies and moon-led brooches with blood-stained breeks in 'em. Boast and night garters and masses of shoesets, and nickelly knacks, and Father Michael, and a lugly parson of cates and howitzers, moochiars and midgers and maggots, ills and ells with lofts of tufts and plures of bells, and the last sigh that come fro the heart, bucklead, and the fairest sin, the sun sore that siark, with kiss, kiss, criss, kiss, cross, undo leaves end. Slain, how beautiful, and how true to wife of her, when strangely forbidden to steal our historic presents from the past, post-propheticals, so as to will make us all lordiers and lady maidises of a pretty nice kettle of fruit. She is living in our midst of death and laughing through all plores for her. Her birth is uncontrollable. With an apron for her mask, and her sabots kicking arias, so sire, so solly. If yous ask me, and I sack you, Hoo, hoo, Grix may rise and Troisers fall, there being two sights for ever a picture. For in the byways of high improvidence, that's what makes life work leaving, and the work's a cell for sitters to sit in. Let young women run away with the story, and yet young men tuck smooth behind the boodler's back. She knows her night's duty while Lunton sleeps. Did ye save any tin, says he? Did I what? With a grin, she says. And we all like a Mariadan, because she is mercenary. Though the length of the land lies under liquidation, flute, and there's nor a hair-brow, nor an eye-bush on this glaurous face of Herr Shoot. What a welter! She'll loan a Vesta and hire some peat, and search the shores her cockles to heat. And she'll do all a turf woman can to piff the business on, paff, to puff the blaziness on, puff, puff. And even if Humpty Shell shall frumpty times at as awkward again in the beard's woo sulum, of all our grand remonstrancers, there'll be eggs for breakfast, come to mourn him, sunny side up, with care. So true is it that theirs wears a turnover the tayest wet too, and when you think you catch sight of a hind, make sure but you're cocked by a hen. Then, as she is on her behaviourt, job of quainance, bandy frotting for firstlings, and take her teeth, we may take our review of the two mounds to see nothing of the himples here, as at elsewhere, by sixes and sevens like so many he-gels and colines, sit on arunt, scent breeched and sompotrick in their swish-a-wish satins and their taff-taff tights, playing Wharton's folly. A tree purty, on the planko in the perk. Stand up, Mickos. Make strake for Minas by order Nicholas Proud. We may see and hear nothing, if we choose, of the short-legged Bergens off Cork Hill, or the Burger Moors of Arbour Hill, or the Burger Gambos of Summerhill, or the Bergensellies of Misery Hill, or the country-bossed Bergons of Constitution Hill. Though every crowd has its several tones, and every trade has its clever mechanics, and each harmonical has a point of its own, Olaf's on the rise, and Ivar's on the lift, and Citrix places between them. But, oh, they are all there, scraping along to sneeze out a likelihood that will solve and salve life's robulus rebus, hopping around his middle like kippers on a griddle, oh, as he lays dormant, from the macro-borg of Holdhard to the micro-beer of Pied de Poudre, behove the sound of Irish saints. Really, here English might be seen. Royally, 1 sovereign pun to Petery pence. Regally, the silence speaks the scene. Fake, so this is Do You Belong? Hush! Caution, echo lad. How charmingly exquisite. It reminds you of the outwashed engravure that we used to be blurring on the blotch wall of his inkempt house. Use they? I am sure the tiring table shoveling with the Mujical chocolate box. Miri Mitchell is listening. I say, the remains of the outworn graveyard where used to be blurred the tolemans of the incubus. Used we? He is only pretending to be stugging at the Jubilee harp from a second existed listener, fiery farewell. It is well known, lock for himself, and see the old butte new Dublin. WKOO here, by the mausoleum wall. Fim, 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 with a grand fun for all. Fum, 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 'tis up to phone with Ontophane's list. Wheatstone's magic lyre. They will be tuggling for river. They will be likening for Olaf. They will be pre-tumbling for over. The harp's discord shall be theirs for all aves. 4 things, therefore, saith our Herodotary, Mammon Lugius, in his grand old Historiam, wrote nea Birorium, bluest book in Bale's Anos, F.D. in Diphinoskis, ne'er sal fair till heather smoke and cloud wheeze, Ayres il sal Paul. And here now they are, the fear of 'em. Tea totitis, unum adar, a bobbin bus surmounted upon an alderman. Aye, doom nistam, a shoe on a pure old wabban. Aho, trium tamus, an auburn maybe. Oh, brine a bride in the dishearted, a dear, quol dillibus, marchant's fan. A pen no weightier nor a pole post, and so and oh sucketh. So, how idlers ween turning pages on pages, as in a sense, with Anaclete play Popeye Antipop. The leaves of the living in the bulk of the deeds, annals of themselves, timing the cycles of events grand and national, bring facile-wise to pass how. 1132 A.D. Men, like to ants or emmets, wandern upon a groot huide walfisk, which lay in a runnel. Blubby wars apat Ublanium, 566 A.D., on Baal's fire's night of this year, after deluge a crone that had a wicked kish, for to hail dead turves from the bog, looked under the blay of her kish, as she ran for to sow this phage, her curiosity, and be me soul, but she found hersel sackvule of swat. Goody quickenshoon, and small elegant brogue, so rich in sweat, blurry, works at Hurdesford. Silent, 566 A.D. At this time it fell out that a brazen-locked damsel grieved sobra las solas, because that puppet, her minion, was ravished of her by the ogre Puro Pius Pius. Bloody wars in Bali Oga Cliagabali. 1132 A.D. 2 sons at an hour were born unto a goodman and his hag. These sons called themselves Caddy and Primus. Primus was a santry man and drilled all decent people. Caddy went to winehouse and wrote a piece of farce, blotty words for Dublin. Somewhere, apparently, in the Ginningo gap between Antediluvius and Anadominant, the copyist must have fled with his scroll. The billy flood rose, or an elk charged him, or the sultrop whirled right from the excelsemost empyrean bolt in some earth spake, or the Dananman Gallus banged Pan the bliddy Duran. A scribe aside then, and there is led off under old's cold, with some fine covered by 6 marks or 9 pins in Middleman, for the sake of his labour's dross, while it will be only now and again in our rear of our era, as an upshoot of military and civil engagements, that a gynecure was let on to the scaffold for taking that same fine covertly by meddlement with the drawers of his neighbour's safe. Now, after all that, far-fetched and peregrine, or dignant, or clear lift we our ears, eyes of the darkness, from the tone of liber lividus, and how peaceably ironical all dimmering dooms and glimmering glades self-stretches afore us. Our freed plain, lean 'neath stone pine, the pastor lies with his crook. Young Picket by Pricket's sisters nibbleth, on return Viritides. A maid her rocking grasses, the herb Trinity shams lowliness. Sky up is of evergrey. Thus too, for donkey's years, since the bouts of Hebir and Herriman, the cornflowers have been staying at Ballymun. The dusk rose has choosed out Goatstown hedges. Tulips have pressed to gather them by sweet rush. Downland of twined lights of white thorn and the red thorn have fairy guide the May valleys of Knockmaroon, and though for rings round them, during a chiliad of perihelligangs, the Formorians have brittled the tuath of the Danes, and the oxman has been pestered by the firebugs, and the joints of thrown up jerry building to the Kevinses, and little on the green is child's father to the city. Year, and laugh tears. These pack-sealing buttonholes have quadrilled across the centuries, and whiff now waft to us, fresh and mid of all smiles, as on the eve of Kilolhu. The babblers with their thangas, vain have been Confucium hold them. They were unwind, thigging thugs were, and who him songtums were, and comely norgals were, and polyfool fiancies. Men have thawed, clerks have Sir Sohammed. The blonde has sought of the brune, else kiss thou may, mean Kerry Piggy. And uncle dames have countered with the hellish fellows, who ails tongue caddow a space of dumb bill silly. And they fell upon one another, and themselves they have fallen, and still now a nights and by nights of yore do bold floras of the field to their shy fawn lovers say only, "Cull me ere I wilt to thee," and but a little later, "Pluck me whilst I blush." Well, may they wilt marry and profusedly blush, be troth, for that saying is as old as the howits. Lave a whale a while in the wheelbarrow. Isn't it the truth, I'm telling ye, to have fins and flippers that shimmy and shake, timmy can, tim't here, tam-ting tam, flippity flippity flee-pow, hop. In the name of Annam this carl on the cobj, in pelted thongs aparth alone, who the Joe bigger be he, for shapen his pigmig hogshead, shrunk in his plot's foot, he hath locked toes. This short shins and obeold, that's pectoral. His mamma muscles most mysterious. Is it the slaking nuncheon out of something's brain pan? Me seemeth a dragon man, he is almonthst, on the keep thief by here. Is come stipple saxoon. Be it juniper or februe, Marax or alebrill, or the ramping riots of Porios and Frorios. What a qua-hair suit of a Mahan! It is evident the Mitchin daddy. Let's we overstep his fire defences and these kraals of slit-slucked marrowbones cave. He can p'raps posturous the pillory way to Hercules' pillar. Come on, fool portafool, hosier at women blown monsieur? Excuse us, Torley guy, you taller day dansk. In, you tulka tiff Scowegian. You spiggity Angles. You foyo saxo. Clear also, 'tis a jute. Let us swap hats and excheck a few strong verbs. Weak ouch. Either yab yazard abas the bluty cheeks. Jute. Utah. Mut. Mux pleasurad. Jute. Are you Jeff? Mut. Some hards. Jute. But you are not Jeff Mute. Mut. No ho. Only an utterer. Jute. Whoa. What is the motu with you? Mut. I become a stooner a stummer. Jute. What a how dibble thing to be cause. How mut? Mut. A put the bottle. Sword. Jute. What paddle? Wherein? Mut. The inns of Dongtarf, where used ought to be he. Jute. You that side your voice are almost inedible to me. Become a bit skin more wiseable, as if I were you. Mut. Hasat. Hasatancy. Urp. Buhuru. Buru usurp. I trample from the wrath in mine minds when I rim. Jute. One eye gone black, bisons is bisons. Let me for all your hasitancy cross your qualm with trink gilt. Here, have sylvan coin, a piece of oak. Guineas high scoot for you. Mut. Louis, how wouldn't I not know it? The intelligible great cloak of Cedric Silkyshag. See add mealy faulty rices for one Doublend bar. Old grizzly grousely, he was poached on in that egg-tentacle spot, here where the livery's monomark, there where the miser's mooney, Minnikin Pass. Jude, simply because, as taciturn pretells, our wrong story shortener, he dumped the whole borough of rubbages onto soil here. Much. Just how a puddin' stone in at the Bruxelles by a river pool, Jude, load all marshy we'd wad for norse like. Mot, sonnular with a bull on a clump turf, rooks roarum, rex room. I could snore to him of the spoomy horn with his woolsely side in, by the neck I am suttin on, did Brian D. of Lynn. Jude, boiled oil and raw honey on me when I can be rarely. For stand a weird from Sturk to Finnick in such a pat wat as your rooter dam rotter, on heard of, and seen. Gut aftermeal. See you doomed. Mut. Quite a grim. Busai vesek, walk a dunblink roundward this albutisel, and you scold see how old ye plain of my elders, Humphrey and ours, where wont to wail Wimbrel to Peewee or the Saltings, where Willoughby city by law of Eastman, where by a droit of signory ice flow was from his inn, the bingning to whose finish there punct. Let air him, more, me merge to races sweet and brack. More the ring rue, hither, cratching, eastwards. They are insurgents hence, cool at ebb, they requiesce. Countlessness of life stories have nether fallen by this plage, flick as flow flakes, litters from aloft. Like a wasp visit all of worlds, now all are tombed to the mound, easiest to easiest, aired from aired. Pride, oh pride thy prize. Jude, stench, moot, fiat fruit, here and under lie they, large by the small, in every night life also they are strange. Babylon, the great grand hotel with a tittle house, Alp on earwig, drunken and isled, like as equal to unequal, in this sound cemetery, which is Liebes Louvre. Jude, Simord, Mat, Meld, und lights, by the fierce swerve, be houted. Despans sung, and thine straws mound have swole up them all. This orth of years is not save bricked us, and being hummus, the same roturns. He who runes may read it on all fours. Oxlo, noxlo, truxlo, crumbling. Sell me sooth the fare for humbling. Humble lady fair, but speak it all so swiftly, Mulder. Be in your wished, Jude. Wished? Mot, the giant four ficules, with Amni the Fay. Jude, how? Here is Vice King's grab. Jude, how odd? Mut, or are you a stony aged? Jude, you? Jude, oi am I thon Thorstruck, Thingmud, stoop. If you are ABCD minded to this clay book, what curious of signs, please stoop, in this alaf bed. Can you read? Since we and thou had it out already in its world, it is the same told of all. Many miscegenations on miscegenations, Tycho. They lived and laughed and left. Forsen. Thy kingdom is given to the Medes and Porsons, the Neanderthal, a loss and again of our Heidenberg in the days when head in clouds walked the earth, in the ignorance that implies impression, that knits knowledge that finds the name form, that wets the wits that convey, contacts that sweeten sensation, that drives desire, that adheres to attachment, that dogs death, that bitches birth, that entails the ensuance of existentiality, but with a rush out of his navel, reaching the raridoos of Ramas Botham. A terraculous, vively on view this, queer, and it continues to be quaky, a hatch, a kilt, an ear share. the poor quaws, of which was to casse the earth crust at all of hours, forwards, baggerwards, like yoxen at the turnpat. Here say figurines bellicose, arming and mounting. Mounting and arming bellicose figurines, see here. Fathork, this little effingy is for a fire thing called a flint for fall. Face at the east, oh I fay, faced at the waist, oh you fie, up wap and dump 'em, face to face. When a part so petit does duty for the holos, we soon grow to use of an all for a bit. Here, please to stoop, are silver and cued petite peas of quite a pecuniar interest, in as little as they are the pellets that make the tum-tummies payroll. Right rank Ragnar rocks, and with these rocks orango-tangos wrangled rough and right gorong. Wisha, wisha, why did tha? Thick is for thorn, that's thuck in its toil, like thumbfuls straighter thrust for vengeance. What a nice old miness it all minakes. A middle-height hoard of objects, olives, beets, kimmels, dollies, Alfreds, Beaties, Cormacs and Daltons, owlets, eags, oh stoop to please, are here, creakish from age, and all now quite obsolete, and old waldy wobblers, Howdworth, a wipo, grass. See the snakes, worms every side. Our Durbin is swarming in sneaks. They come to our island from triangular Tushater, beyond the wet prairie reared up in the midst of cargan of prohibitive pommerfrocks, but a long-landed Pappy Whippingham. And his garbage cans cotch the creeps of them, pricker than our who's there out of men could quick up her what's that's. Some divide and some the lot, but the tally turns round the same ballyfussen, racketeers and botlow-leggers. Axel and thwax and thrax, axen-wise, one by one, place one by three, ditto and one before. Two nurses make one, a plausible free, and idem behind, starting off with a big boa and three-legged calvers and Ivan-grain jadises with a message in their mouths, and 100 field unleavened weight of libora rumcu to con, and we can still, O Horus Eve, what a Neanderthal tale to unfurl, and with what an end in view of squatter and anti-squatter and post-prone anti-squatter, to say to us, to be every Tim, Nick, and Larry of us, sons of the sod, sons, little sons, yea, and Leah little sons, when us is not to be, every Sue, Sis, and Sally of us, doctors of none, accusative, on sire, the madam to infinities. True, there was in nullos Davos as yet no lump-end papier in the waste, and might mountain pen still groaned for the mice to let flee. All was of ancientry. You gave me a boot, signs on it, and I ate the wind. I quizzed you a quid, with for what? And you unto the quad, but the world, mind, is, was, and will be, writing its own runes forever, man, on all matters that fall under the ban of our infrarational senses. For the last milch camel, the heart vein throbbing between his eyebrows, has still to moor before the tomb of his cousin Charmian, where his date is tethered by the palm that's her. But the horn, the drinking, the day of dread, are not now. A bone, a pebble, a ramskin, chip them, chop them, cut them up always, leave them to Terra cook in the mothering pot, and Guten Morg, with his Cro-Magnon charter, ting-ting fast, and great primer must once for omnibus step, rubric red, out of the word-press, else is there no virtue more in alcohoron. For that, the rapt one warns, is what papier is made of, hides and hints and misses and prints, till ye finally, though not yet end like, meet with the acquaintance of Mr. Typist, Mistress Taupe, and all the little type-topies fill stop. So, you need hardly spell me how every word will be bound over to carry 70 top tipsical readings throughout the book of Doublends Jined. May his forehead be darkened with mud who would sunder, till Daleth, Mahoma, who opened it closeth there of the door. Cry not yet, there's many a smile to nondum, with city maids per man, sir, and the park so dark by kindle-light. But look, what you have in your hand self. The movables are scrawling and motions marching, all of them ago in pit-pat and zing-zang, for every busy eerie wigs a bit of Tory tale to tell. Once upon a time, and twos behind their lettuce sleep, and threes among the shrubby beds, and the chick picked their teeths, and the donkey he began. You can ask your ass if he believes it. And so, Cuddy me only wallops of heels, that one of a wife with a faulty barnets, for then was the age when hoops ran high, of a nork and a chopwife, of a poem full grave and a family of levity, or of golden youths that wanted gelding, or of what the mischief miss made a man do. Mal married dad, he was reverse so gassed by the frisk of her frasks and her pretty pyrique. May fay, she is la gay, this snaky woman, from that trippery toe, expeng to pellic, veil, Valentine eyes. She's the very besh, Winnie blows nay on good. Fluing, floan, ho high. So, it's sure it was her, not we. But lay it easy, gentle mine. We are in rearing of a Norweg, so weeny, beeny, veeny, teeny, comsy, see, het was if e knew. Listen, I am doing it. Hark! The corn entreats, and the larp notes prittle.